Okay, welcome to the Townsend Conservation Commission meeting. It is Wednesday, November 10th, 2021, and the time is 7:02. And we will now call the meeting to order under the Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetland Bylaw. Okay, roll call. James Gates.
Here.
Joan Savoy.
Here, present.
Ann LeQueer.
Present.
Jim LeQueer.
Present.
And Jennifer Eaton is present. Okay. This meeting is being recorded. Is anybody else recording the meeting tonight? No? Great. Okay, 1.3, chairman's additions and or deletions. I don't have any. 1.4, agents report. Okay, so just to refresh everybody, on 10/27/21, the agent made a site visit to 6 Ball Road and observed active dewatering and gave them a stop work order reminder. That was back on 10/27. On 11/1/21, the agent issued an agent-only enforcement order for the violations at 6 Ball Road. Also, I think everybody is aware that the emergency beaver order that everybody came down and signed, thank you so much, that was issued on 11/1. Okay. Chair's report. I just want to remind everybody that because the meeting is virtual Zoom, we'll be doing roll call votes. And during voting, please make sure that you are clearly visible and clearly heard. And also, we have our administrative assistant, Matt, has started officially. He sent out a hello email to everyone. Did everyone get that? Wonderful. Yes. So do not hesitate to reach out. Okay, and
Madam
Matt
Chair?
is on the... Yes.
On Friday, I'm going to make a little party in Town Hall to welcome Matt, and if anybody wants to stop in around, 9:30 or 10? Yeah, I'll bring scones and some coffee and stuff. If
That's
everyone
wonderful, Joan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Matt, do you want to say hello to everybody? I know you're on the meeting.
Hello.
Hi, Matt.
Hi. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person. And thank you, Joan, for setting up a party tomorrow. I really appreciate that.
Parties are important.
I agree.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so 1.6, review and approve the meeting minutes from 9/22/2021. Did everybody get a chance to review those?
Yes.
No.
No?
Oh, were those? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Those were the ones you did.
Yes, 9/22/2021.
Forgive me. Yes.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 9/22/2021?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LeQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jim LeQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor. Okay, so all in favor? Okay, hearings and appointments. No hearings or appointments tonight. We have 3.1, TWB 2021-112. The applicant has submitted an RDA. The address is 51 Emery Road for the removal of trees within a resource area.
Madam Chair, do you want me to read the legal notice?
Yes, would you? Yes, thank you, Joan.
Sure. Town of Townsend Conservation Commission legal notice pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw. The Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, November 10, 2021 at 7:10 p.m. The hearing will be held virtually only via a Zoom meeting on a request for determination of applicability filed with the Conservation Commission by Ms. Estelle Borneman. The property is located at 51 Emery Road, Assessors Map 24, Block 11, Lot 0. The proposed project is for the removal of approximately 25 pine trees near a residential structure along a pond edge and within a tree line. The public is invited to attend, and it's signed by our conservation agent, Jessica Consalvo, on 11/5/21. And it was run in the Groton Herald, which I believe is going to be the official newspaper for running ads going forward.
Okay. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Where are we going with that? Are we gonna go with the suggestion to do that tree removal in the wintertime when the pond is frozen?
I think we just wanted to discuss it with the homeowner, Jim, but yeah, I think wintertime, frozen ground, frozen pond.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
All right.
So can I get a motion to issue a -3 determination for TW? Excuse me?
Sorry, Jen, I spoke too
Oh,
fast.
it's okay. I just wanted to say to issue -3 determination for TWB 2021-112.
So moved.
As long as the work is done when the ground is frozen. And the pond, is that what we said?
Correct.
Yes.
Well,
And
what if
has
the
no
pond
problem with
doesn't
that.
freeze?
Schedule it for after January 1st. Do you hear that, Jim?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Borman,
Sorry.
is that fair? That sounds fair?
Yeah.
So if the pond's not frozen after Jan 1?
You can still go forward, yes.
Okay. So do we have a second?
I second.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay. So James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
And Jim LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
And Jennifer Eaton is in favor. So we're all in favor of issuing a -3 determination for TWB 2021-112 for the removal of 25+ trees within the resource area. Okay, great.
Thank you, Mr. Borman. Be well.
Thank you,
you
Mr.
very much.
Borman, and good luck with
You're
that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al. I will send you a formal response to your RDA request.
Okay.
Probably in the next week or two. I think we have 21 days to supply it, but I'll get it to you before Thanksgiving.
Okay, awesome.
And
Thank you.
Jessica, do we have to come in and sign?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll all come in
So
and
I
sign.
can draft the form on Friday, and then if you guys can come in next week to sign, and then that way I can try to get it out before the end of next week. That'd be great.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
3.2.
Thanks.
Referral for 233 Main Street. Discuss comments to submit to the ZBA for 12/8 hearing. Did everybody get a chance to review that application?
I didn't do that one, no.
No, I didn't either.
Madam Chair, it is
Yes.
McNabb's, and they're not in a wetland, so it's non-jurisdictional as far as I
It
know.
appears to be non-jurisdictional. The work is to be done at McNabb's Pharmacy on Main Street.
Correct, that would be non-jurisdictional, yeah.
Okay,
It's just a little addition with some piers being put in. It doesn't look very, offering too much disturbance either. So
okay.
So I make a motion that we, our referral on 233 Main Street reads non-jurisdictional, and we're okay with it.
Correct.
Okay,
Second,
Only thing I'd like to add is if there are any catch basins on the property, or downstream per se of the work being done or any of the minimal excavation, they should be protected.
So you want walls around the catch basins?
Yeah, something, it doesn't have to be crazy, but and there might not be any. I didn't look that close, but I just was thinking about it.
I don't see where there would be anything in the way. You really want to add that, Jim?
No, actually, no, I'll take that back.
Okay.
okay. So do we have a motion to add the comments non-jurisdictional to the referral for 233 Main Street?
So moved.
I second.
Okay. Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
yes.
Jennifer Eaton is in favor, so we have all in favor. Okay, 3.3, the referral for 8 Jeff Street to discuss comments to submit to the ZBA for 11/17 hearing. Did everybody get a chance to look at that application?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
And would anybody like to comment on it?
Madam Chair, the structure is within 300 feet of the Swanicook River, which is part of the Swanicook-Nissitissit Act, which I guess they're now calling Wild and Scenic Act. However, it's not in the AE floodplain. I think it's AE, thanks to Jessica, who helped me with the map on that. And as Jessica, do you want to weigh in on what you thought about the building, please? And the activity?
Sure. I mean, based on the materials that the applicant provided and review of what our building commissioner sent and had seen on site, I think for the most part, the activities that are happening at the property are inside the structure. So as long as there's no illicit discharge occurring, I believe it is outside of our jurisdiction.
I mean, it's just against outside of our jurisdiction, period, isn't it, at this point, since it's,
That's
well,
correct.
no, it's not outside of our jurisdiction, actually.
It's within 200 feet of a riparian riverfront zone.
Right.
I think I measured on Oliver. I think the 200 feet, again, it's just on Oliver, so it's not exact, but 200 feet goes pretty much to the western property line of the 8 Jeff's property, but the
Okay.
structure is about 230 feet or so.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, unless they were doing
And
having any illicit discharges, I don't see how
Well,
we
it would be for the use of heavy equipment and parking construction vehicles. I'd be concerned.
No, there's that. It says that specifically on the form that he does not intend to park his construction equipment there. It was only there to clean it up. He does custom fabrication for art stuff or custom carpentry, and it's essentially just a shop, and that's just my interpretation of the form. So someone might.
What else? But that was a supplemental activity. It said that he would also be doing artwork and some machine shop type work. But what is the main
Let me look.
activity?
Isn't the main activity carpentry?
He's doing woodworking there.
Carpentry, woodworking.
That building has seen multiple uses over the past 50 years. It's been a printing place. It's been all kinds.
Yeah.
And I think the town should just let that go through because she's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, and I'm siding with Jim and Ann. I'm just looking at the application. I remember I read it. I usually don't make stuff up. It was still part of the, okay, so it was Exhibit H. So yeah, supplementary is part of it. As I have stated numerous times, I do not have any employees that work there. Not that it would matter, as that is allowed. The Jeep and truck are my own vehicles. However, until this is resolved, I will bring my 2 vehicles home. There are no lettered vehicles or signs located at the building that would indicate it is used as a contractor yard. The dumpster is a 2-yard trash dumpster. It's empty twice a month. It is certainly not a construction dumpster, nor is it allowed to have construction material in it. Oh, and the beginning of the email, it said, I have never said I was using the property as a contractor yard. My machines were only there to fix the driveway due to flooding, for which the catch basin is soon to be repaired by the highway department. Now that I fixed the driveway after the hurricane rains, the machines will be moving. That was the beginning of the email. Sorry, I skipped that part. So again, that was Exhibit H in the documents that were sent to us.
Okay.
Jessica, pardon me, Madam Chair, I'm wondering if Jessica could weigh in. Should we say something though about the catch basin, since it is within 200 feet of the river?
Oh, that's a town maintained catch basin.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's within 200 feet of the river?
Yeah, it's 192.8 feet, the west end of the building to the river.
Do you
Yeah, the
realize
catch basin's
amount
on the
of gravel
road.
under that?
Yeah. It's all gravel and sand.
Yeah, it's 20 feet down, maybe deeper to water.
Yeah, I think unless there is some significant flooding and backlogging, then it might be an issue, but as long as it's
There is no
functioning
way,
properly.
no way that any water is going to go from that surface to the river in any fashion, because it's all sloped the wrong direction.
You're right. And it is noted on the application in question 2, is the parcel within 300 feet of the Swanicook, and they've answered yes. So is there anything that we can add to this?
Are they going to use
There's
any
a-
chemicals of any type in the building? If there's no
So,
chemicals and everything's
there's
all water-based, natural?
another exhibit, I don't, this is where it's an attachment application of Jeff Smart to the Town of Townsend Zoning Board of Appeals. Section 2.0, my petition seeks to establish my proposed use of the premise to machine steel brackets and mounts, gaming tables, sculptures, and mixed media furniture art, machine parts, which include steel, stone, and wood, and is consistent with prior use of the property and will not be more detrimental than the existing non-conforming use to the neighborhood. So again, the previous uses were a machine shop, and then prior to that, Harbor Home Healthcare.
And prior to that, it was a printing place.
And Jim knows the history way better than I do.
Jim, what did you just say that? Prior to that, it was a what?
A printing place. They printed
papers
out of there. That's when they had toxic chemicals, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
None of that stuff's going to be there.
I think, it potentially concerning, if anything, again, you guys probably understand the machine shop concept better than I do, but if he has any sort of like hydraulic fluid or lubricants or anything, how he would properly
have to be over
dispose of
10
that,
gallons to even be considered contaminating. There's a whole bunch of
Okay.
stuff that's not going to be in that position in any fashion.
Okay.
Yeah, and any smart business owner is not going to allow to, or won't expose themselves to liability like that. It's not like the early 1900s.
Correct.
Correct.
I don't
Dump
want
it in the river.
that property for about 60 years.
Okay. So does anybody have any comment that they would feel strongly about adding to this? Or do you feel like we've done our due diligence?
I think everything is in due diligence. Fact is, make a motion to accept that as done.
To not provide any comments?
No, there's no comment necessary, actually.
Okay,
I second that.
okay.
I agree.
So James Gates, do you agree?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, do you agree?
Yes.
Anne LeQueer, do you agree?
Yes,
Jim LeQueer, do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, and I agree, so we're all in favor to provide no comment for the 8 Jeff Street referral. Okay, 3.4, discuss options for future land protection regarding Swanicook Meadows. Did everybody look at the materials that were sent out about Swanicook Meadows and also the deed for the conservation parcel email that was forwarded to us?
Madam Chair, I just, we can discuss this, but I want to make sure, because I am also part of TASA, I need to file a simple disclosure form.
Yep.
And prior to that, I do not want to be involved.
In the
Too
conversation?
much, yeah, until
Okay,
it's all settled,
Are you gonna
or
abstain?
decisions. What, Jim?
You gonna abstain?
For tonight, yes.
Yeah. That's understandable. Your
But I
position,
do know-
absolutely.
But I do know that we need a quorum also, so,
We have that.
I'll,
You could be a member of the quorum and still abstain.
okay,
I think
Okay.
if it's any easier, my intent for tonight too, but of course it's up to you guys. It was just to discuss the 2 options, and then you guys have a little bit of time, and then just email me with your decisions so that you guys don't have to be put in any awkward positions tonight. Just email me your position, and then I can provide our responses to the Board of Selectmen prior to their early December meeting.
Jessica,
Jessica,
would you like to share with us your knowledge, please, of the options?
Oh boy, I was afraid of that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, never mind. I mean, I can. I mean, I know two sentences about it that are pretty simple.
Yeah, why don't you go first, and I can
Okay.
fill in the gaps.
So
since you're
my
more familiar with
understanding is there are basically 2 options for the land that has to be protected, and one of them is give the land to the Townsend Conservation Commission, and the other is put a CR on it. And the only thing about giving it to the Townsend Conservation Commission is since the commission changes so often, and it's not like, a body, that I'm leaning towards, strongly towards the CR.
Yeah, so in my email to you guys, I sort of outlined, I hope in a non-biased fashion, the 2 options. Yeah, where it would become the Conservation Commission's property, where we would be responsible essentially for maintaining and preserving the property from here forward, where we would, I believe we would administer our own deed language as it gets transferred to you, versus putting the property into a conservation restriction, which would be much centered around endangered species protection. So the language is there in place, and then likely have a land trust hold that CR, and they would more so be responsible for the protection of the property in perpetuity.
can I add to what you just said, Jessica, quickly?
Of course.
So one of the biggest differences from conservation holding it and having it, the deed written, and a CR is that a CR includes an Exhibit A, which is the description of the premises, and it allows you to set aside areas such as building envelopes and exclusion areas that are defined by mets and bounds, so that the area that can be used is it's documented and put into the registry of deeds, so there's never any question to what can be used or the areas that are usable, and it's public information.
That's very helpful, James. Thank you.
It is helpful. And what is the, Jessica, if you could just, what is the second option?
Okay, liaison, I may need you to cut in, please, if I start to butcher this. So the deed, so currently I believe the town owns the land. So the deed would then be transferred to the Conservation Commission itself, not a land trust. And in that deed, I think we would ultimately be responsible for placing in the language for how we would desire for the future of that property to be protected, so that it could still be used as the well test site, it could still be used as a sports facility. But I think the primary option, which is why we're talking about land protection, is for endangered species habitat. So with the deed, again, we would sort of be making our own language for that. So there is some room for error. And then we would be ultimately also be responsible for monitoring that, the property.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Should
Yes,
this be
Jim.
something we turn to council for?
It could, if we got some, yeah, we would probably need some
I think
advice.
we need an opinion from council on this so that they can assist us with making the determination.
I will also add, sorry, I should have mentioned this, that, and again, liaison, cut in if this is wrong. Ultimately, this decision is going to be up to the Board of Selectmen, but they are so kindly offering our comment on this as well.
I will jump in and say that Jessica's correct on that, because it is the town that owns the land. And so we have talked to council about this, and there are two separate options. So we were just looking for the thoughts of the Conservation Commission.
And Madam Liaison, when is the Board of Selectmen gonna vote on this?
Vote, I'm not sure, but this is on the agenda for the December 7th, I believe it is, meeting.
Okay,
So
I'm just trying to get
there's
timeline.
time. We gave a 6-month extension to the TESA, for the lease, so that's March. So we would pretty much like to have at least the direction that we're going settled probably by January, so that we can start working on language for whichever option we choose, so that we can get the language correct in the lease and not hold them up beyond March on a new lease. So
Okay.
Madam Liaison, please, so the avenue of doing a CR and would be more protection for the endangered species, and that it would go into perpetuity and basically be sort of more really protected than if it was given to the Conservation Commission. Is that a correct analysis?
I think it's more, we had thought that we were just going to put a CR on it and we would remain the owner. The Conservation Commission would be the CR holder. And that was the way we were going to go. But council said that's like the fox guarding the hen house. And he said, so that you really don't want to have the Conservation Commission hold the CR. So if you're going the CR route, it would be a land trust or some other organization.
Yep.
And then NHESP said, actually, they're the ones that gave us the CR template because they have a special CR for these situations. And they were the ones that said, well, you could also do it spelling it out in the deed, which seems, the language is already there in the CR. So anyway, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
It's the goal here is to make it so that TESA knows where the bounds are, or any succeeding organization to TESA. They know where the bounds are, and they can work within that to do what they need to do. So to make their programs successful. So that's just all it is. We're trying to make everybody happy here. And we're just trying to find the right way to do it, the best way to do it, the most sustainable way to do it.
So Conscom doesn't need to meet then with council because the board has, correct, BOS? So maybe Jessica will fall back to everyone should email you our comments?
No, you should all email Jessica your comments.
Yeah.
And then Jessica will talk to us. If you want to talk to council, you're certainly welcome to do that. If you have you have to do the paperwork that needs to be done, but you're certainly welcome to do that. If you have questions that could help you form your opinions or your thoughts.
I'm good.
So we're just trying to do what will allow TESA to, continue to expand their programs to the extent that they can on that parcel, and also to protect what's there, wildlife, that is endangered species habitat, and also to not have the town give up the right to sometime in the future, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, if they want to use that potential well site, keep that option open as well. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, great.
So,
Thank you.
Okay. So does anybody have anything else to add?
I don't think we have enough information. That's my point.
I agree. So we can table this conversation till our next meeting while we gather more knowledge between our two options.
Well, I suggest everyone attend the the BOS meeting that comes before our next meeting for more information, and/or Madam Liaison, maybe you wouldn't mind if people checked in with you to expand their understanding. But I think, Jessica, you know quite a bit about this, do you not?
Yeah, I can help where I can.
Thank you.
Okay, and Joan, that would be the December 7th BOS meeting that you're recommending?
Well, we're after them, so that's why we need to get educated before our next meeting. And so I recommend that you speak. This is what I would do if I had more questions. I'd speak to Jessica. If I felt I needed even more information, I'd reread what we were given. I would then talk to our liaison, who's very well versed in this sort of thing, and then also plan to tune into the December 7th BOS meeting, which is the night before our next conference.
I will also say that my understanding is that NHESP has talked to the Conservation Commission and to TESA about these options. So they're the ones who came forward and said that they would like us to put one or the other to protect the property.
Oh yeah, that was a while. I think I remember, that's before I was on the commission, but I do remember them coming to the commission. Excuse me.
Okay. So do we have a motion to table the conversation to our next meeting, and then we can issue our comments?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. James Gates, are you in favor?
Abstained.
Oh, yeah, you're abstaining. Okay, yep. Joan Savor, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
yes.
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
And I am in favor. Jennifer Eaton, so we're 4 in favor and 1 abstain. Okay. 3.5, vote to change 2010 fee schedule and forward changes, vote to change 2010 fee schedule changes to forward to BOS for approval. At the last meeting, Joan had given us this fee schedule with the current rates and what the proposed, the suggested increase would be. Has everybody reviewed that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments or anything they want to add to it?
I would like to make a comment, Madam Chair.
Okay, Jim.
We're going through some hard times in our country right now. And
Yeah.
when you take somebody's fees and automatically double them, I think that's breaking all types of consideration factors. I think we should go across the boards with a percentage raise on everything of maybe 10 to 15%. Because if you win the town hall and they double your taxes in 1 year, you wouldn't like that. So this can be gradually addressed to increase these fees as time goes on, but to just start doubling fees, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree with Jim on that.
Okay, so let me lay this out for everybody. What the objective is with the fee schedule is to encourage people to file and discourage people to let their orders of conditions run out, while also maintaining a fee schedule that's in step with surrounding towns. The fee schedule there's quite a bit of a discrepancy with in doing our research with other fee schedules. So to encourage people to file, but not to let their orders of conditions and to get the work done in time, we would like to discourage that. And that's the objective of changing the fee schedule right now. And right now it's not set up for that.
I agree that the fees need to be changed, but I agree with Jim as far as saying that they should be raised percentages, 10 to 15%, not what it is, not right now, not in these times, not what the country is facing.
Yes, Madam Chair, I've been around a few years here in the town of Townsend, and you have a group of people that would be able to have no problem with this, maybe 25% of our taxpayers, but a lot of
Yep.
other people, ignorance is bliss, and some people just don't do stuff, and we can't punish everybody for those people that aren't responsible.
Well, I'll let you say this, Joan. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna, the one thing I would do, so if Jim and Ann, or James, if you feel strongly about it, then please, it's in Word form. Please redo it and resubmit it, get us to us before our next meeting, but then we have to vote on it because this has been floating around for a while. But the only thing I would change is the request for determination of applicability. I would change that from $50 to $35. That would be one suggestion I would make, because we do want to encourage people to file the RDAs. And remember, this is from 2010, so that was, basically 12 years ago. And it is less than Groton, but on par with Peckerell. And what we're finding is if someone has an order of conditions, for instance, Ball Road, they had not filed their order of conditions. we seem to see a pattern that people aren't filing their order of conditions and they're letting them expire. We've had a few other things come before us, so it's free if you do it within the time you're supposed to do it, which is 3 years. And after that, I think it should, you know, people should pick their heads up when they see that it's not going to be so pain-free to just let them slip by for 20 years, you know, because somebody says, why do I want that order of conditions clouding my title? I'm planning on hanging on to this piece of land for 15 or 10 years. The conscom will be different then, and I'll take my chances and I'll just forget about it. And that's a pattern we have seen happening.
You got to go to a reinforcing mode where we follow through and make sure that these people have been told you only have so much time left for your order of conditions. The money issue for many people isn't going to make my rocket science, okay?
Well, but no one has been enforcing that.
Well, that's why we have to change the way of looking at this and start doing some enforcement and following the paperwork through and give these people a reminder. If these people don't get reminded, they're going to be ignorant, and ignorance is bliss. Trust me, I've done a lot of this over the years.
So Jim, I would like to add that Joan and I have been working on more of an updated, when an applicant gets their order of conditions, they get a letter that they have to sign, a receipt for order of conditions. And we're working on amending that letter to give them more information, almost like they're signing the agreement, like they know that it's going to expire in 3 years, and maybe even note that there's a penalty, but if you do it within the time frame, it's free.
It's not a penalty, it's a fee. I mean, it's free for 3 years, and after that you pay the fee. And every year after that, the fee goes up X, and we're gonna spell that out very clearly in the order of conditions letter cover letter that we've crafted. I mean, what wasn't happening before that is happening now is that people are signing a receipt of acknowledgement when they get the order of conditions that we wrote, and they have to say, I received the order of conditions, and we're going to also put in there, it has to be filed within 14 days. So it's getting filed. You know, I'll get the registration number back to you, because that's the other thing. People, they're just not filing these. The more time goes on, and we're seeing the stuff's just not getting filed. So we're letting people know up front, and they have to sign off. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And so it's on them. I mean, you know, there's personal responsibility.
The paperwork is a good point of opinion. I agree with doing the paperwork and giving them all a heads up, but to go after the wallet and change these rates this drastically, I just think that's wrong for general public.
You think it's too drastic?
It's too drastic.
So why don't you guys please change them? It's like I said, it's a Word doc. You can go in and change the numbers, present your version for next meeting, and we'll compare the two versions. Does that sound fair?
I'm going to put this on, I got to think about this, because you're hitting me with something that I wasn't planning on, but it's a good point of view. So let's see what happens here. But going right across the board, the way you doubled it and added so much, I just think a percentage would be much more effective, so people won't be so offended by it.
There's very few things in here, Jim, when you really look at it, that have been doubled.
When you've got $1.50 to $2, that's up 25%.
What column?
Proposed, the center, right, third column over, fourth column over says proposed.
Yeah, request determination.
An RDA?
Pardon me?
The RDA?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now it's $1 per foot of delineation, and it's going up to $1.50.
See, it's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, do me a favor. So this is a Word doc. You guys can go in, or if you want, you can just print it out and handwrite in what you would like to see it go to. Present it to us for next meeting, because we've been batting this around for a couple of months now. We need to get this done, because it has to go to the board to be approved.
All right. I got a crazy schedule ahead of me. I'm not going to guarantee I'll get that done, but I'll put an effort into it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you have a month.
James Gates,
Yes, ma'am.
would you be willing to assist with this?
Yes. One of the things I was vocal about when we started discussing this was not to shock the system.
Yes,
Um,
we
Yeah.
feel the same way.
And I want to say thank you, Jen, and thank you, Joan, and I'm sure Jessica helped, whoever helped, come up with the proposed fee schedule. It's a start. It's something that, you got to start somewhere. So I appreciate it. And I want to make sure that's known.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for input from everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So,
So-
I was a little shocked, or I was very shocked, at the proposed fees, but that's just, my opinion. And at the same time, I think the research time for the conservation staff, $30 an hour isn't a lot of money for an hourly rate, especially when you have to go research stuff for order of conditions that are pre-existing, or for old order conditions. That takes some time. I did some digging for Ball Road that stuff I sent to Jessica, and that took me a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because you have to go down the rabbit hole.
Mhm.
So it's that stuff, people need to know that it's going to cost them money if they don't, file. And, having the letter is going to be good. So, Groton has some good bylaw permit fee wording in there. The enforcement order, 1.5 times, that's a, good wording that we might want to think about. But again, a lot of this was a shock to the system. As it is, if you're working within, certain areas, it's not a $500 bill you're going to get from an engineer to guide you through it. It's $3,000-$4,000 all day long to get permitted for a project that requires a DEP number. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So please, Jim and James, please bring us your recommendations with this. And, because but just keep in mind that the idea is to make it easy for people to submit an RDA, easy for people, we want to be approachable. We don't want to shock people.
I agree with all that you're saying there. I just think that this is too much.
Right, just
Okay.
the only way we're gonna get forward is if you guys put some numbers down and we look at them side by side next meeting.
Correct.
That would be great.
Correct. Between the three of us, we'll have a meeting probably right in the town hall. We'll do something with it.
Can I
Okay.
propose to add a line item to this?
A
Potentially?
line
course.
item?
Sure.
I don't know if it's like out of my bounds to offer this, but I went on a visit last week and I just scheduled another one next week to go to a site to discuss properties with the property owner. Just to get like my own technical input prior to their submittal of anything formal to you all. Is like a site visit fee something that you want to consider?
Site
I'm glad you
I guess
brought
in
that
addition
up,
to research
Jessica.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, because you should definitely charge for something like that. There has to be a fee for something like that. You can't have a free consultant.
Well, you're right. But at the same time, and coming from a contractor side of things, I don't know how many times I've gone to businesses and houses and given out my ideas for free just to watch the other guy do it. But it's kind of a as part of the town, I guess. I agree with what Jessica's saying, though. At the same time, I don't know how we would word it, but I do agree with Jessica, and it's just how do we do that? And should it be a line item or should it be included in, the request, the RDA or any of it?
James,
'cause
can I interrupt you for a second?
Of course.
Okay, I like your way of thinking. And I'm going to reflect on another board in town. I'm not going to name the board because you know I'm on it. But we have sanitarians that go out and do stuff. And there's a coverall from the beginning of the project. It goes into the initial payment And that payment covers the site visits as they're deemed. So people don't get hammered with that. So if we just change our rates, considering the fact that there's going to be an inspection done by conservation, that would be incorporated so that people aren't getting gouged again for another $1 or $2. By having that overlapped, it's a basic fee to get your permit, and you will be entitled to 2 free inspections, something as such.
Yeah, I don't think Jessica's talking about inspections, Jim. I actually think she's talking about people want her to go out and weigh in and give her opinion on a piece of property before they do a thing.
Exactly,
to
or
apply
before
for an
they purchase
application.
the
I
property.
think she should have to
So
go.
it's a consultation, not an inspection. Is that fair?
What, Jim, can you say what you were going to say again? I didn't hear it. Not the whole thing about coming out, but what you just said prior.
What I just heard is that people are asking for opinions from conservation to get a project started. They want us to go out and look at it. Well, if they're going to get a project started, they should make an application with a fee on it. And at that point, then we will go out and do the inspections. But we just don't go out without an application filed first.
And that's, a simple phone call, and Jessica, I'm sure, could guide them into, yes, you need an application. No, you don't need one based just on Oliver. Now, chances in Townsend is you're probably going to need something.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to weigh in and say that what we don't want is somebody who's thinking about purchasing a piece of property. Say, for instance, I'll give you an example, because this has happened a couple times already. Somebody's thinking about buying a property that's, there's located in an air resource, and they're asking Jessica for her opinion on it. They're not going to fill out an application. They're not going to start a project. They might not even buy that property, but there's really no way to charge them.
Oh.
And she's not going to be somebody's free consultant for real estate.
Well, we
No,
could
but
put
that's a
another bylaw
consultation
in or
fee.
some type of paperwork done that if you want an inspection by conservation, it's going to cost you X amount for the conservationist.
I like that.
And that would constitute adding a line item. Would that be
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Yes. So a
So with that-
consultation fee.
Would that then come down to us? We have the formal RDA, the NOI application. Should we create our own town-specific application for a consultation site visit or something like that? Like make it its own separate submittal, and that way it doesn't have to have the public notice and the hearing and
Yes.
blah blah blah. So it's a lot faster.
Yes,
so I could just
yes,
move it
yes,
through my own
yes.
timeline.
Buying an
right.
opportunity to pay for somebody to see it, but you're not going to get it for free.
All right.
Thank
so I
you.
will work on that application form.
Okay.
I think MACC might. They have a lot of templates
Yeah.
from
Okay.
other towns. So
All right. So I'll work on that. I think that'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
I like that idea.
coming
I
in.
think that should be handled. Even a $75 fee just to have somebody to go out there. That's the inspection fee or give you an opinion fee.
Yeah.
and it covers the
And you
mileage
can write
on
up a little
for
thing
Jessica
for
and
them.
I like it.
Okay.
well, you got to be careful how much of that stuff you're doing because that might be part of Jessica's form.
Why don't we
almost
table
like
this until we talk about this, Jim? We'll go over these prices. We'll discuss this between the 3 of us and we'll bring it back to the commission next meeting.
Okay, so can I get a motion to table this for a vote for next meeting?
I motion to table this until the next meeting.
Seconded.
Okay.
Madam
Jim
Chair,
McQuarrie,
I do ask of everyone, please, though, we have given you the materials from Pepperell and Groton. If you'd make sure you look at those again, please, because we don't want to be like so far off. That's my only
Okay.
ask.
I heard you, John.
I agree,
Okay.
Joan. And
Thanks.
if there's other models that we want to bring to the table too.
absolutely, yes.
So thank you again for everything you guys have done on this.
No problem. We look forward to hearing, you guys' feedback. Okay, Jim LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
And James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Okay, and I, Jennifer Eaton, am in favor. We're all in favor to table this discussion and vote to the next meeting. Okay, great. 3.6, Ball Road NOI update on amended NOI. There is no update on that. We haven't heard anything about their amended NOI. The agent has issued an enforcement order for Drain Pond. DEP has been notified. So did everybody get the enforcement order that Jessica filed on 11/1?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody's looked at it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can I get a motion to approve the order?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to ratify the WPA Form 9 enforcement order that the agent issued dated 11/1/21.
Second.
Okay. James Gates, are you in favor?
Yes.
Joan Savoy, are you in favor?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm in favor, so we're all in favor of that. Okay, correspondence. We have no correspondence this meeting, so that brings us to 5.1, public service announcement on Japanese knotweed. And Joan is going to speak about this.
The public service announcement has sailed. Dave and I were working on that, and it's stalled, but the season has sailed too. And unfortunately, the Japanese knotweed hasn't sailed. But we're gonna make sure we're on top of that for next season. It's amazing though. Once you know to look for it, it's like you go, wow.
It's everywhere.
But that's it. We're on it. But thank you. And I did post on Nextdoor, which several people saw and appreciated. They didn't really know, so that was good. So I think it's just spreading the word. Like, I didn't know what it was 2 years ago, you know?
Right.
It is pretty.
Okay, great.
It is pretty.
It smells nice too, but
Yeah, very pretty.
okay.
Very invasive.
Yeah.
Does Townsend have like a Facebook page or a Facebook group or anything? Because I feel
Oh,
like
you are so new.
I live in Pepperell. Come on, neighbor.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to creep on other towns.
That's why I work in a different town from which I live.
That's why Jessica, I find Nextdoor is a really good forum because people don't usually even, they just put out, hey, I saw this bear last night, here's this picture, and hey, you know, it's just factual. People don't jump all over people.
Got it. I thought you meant next door, like you talk to your next door neighbor.
No,
oh my gosh.
It's called Nextdoor.
That's so
It's
embarrassing.
a good site.
Okay.
Yeah, and
the
the post on Nextdoor happen in real time. It's almost like a live bulletin board is what it's like.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of social media, as much as I hate to admit it, it's probably a good way to get quick pictures and notices out to people.
Well,
And
now
it's
that we
free.
have an admin or administrative assistant, maybe we discuss Facebook account. I don't know how we would do that, but you know, it's a good way to get stuff out there.
Just a great suggestion, James. So let's think. We should think about that because we are the Conservation Commission after all, and it would be lovely if we could do some public education outreach, like a routine, regular thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be wonderful.
Yep. It would be a great way to get volunteers too.
Absolutely.
Okay. So items for discussion at next meeting. We have the Swanicook Meadows, future land holding possibilities. We have the fee schedule. Okay. Does anybody want to add anything to that, or is that?
Madam Chair, we have possible amended NOI for 6 Ball.
Possible amended, yeah, I'll keep that on there.
I think just for terminology's sake, I don't believe they are going to submit a new NOI. I think they're just submitting supplementary material.
Okay,
Because if they submit a new NOI, then we technically have to issue another OOC, and they can't have 2 active OOCs out there. So instead, we will do an amended OOC.
okay,
Oh, so I'm using the wrong verbiage, Jessica. It's an amended OOC, not an amended NOI. Thank you.
Right. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I started by. I think I initially started out saying NOI, but
okay,
I learned
Right.
more that
Thank you.
that's not really a thing. So
okay,
I did speak with Stan Dillis, and he said he would try to get me the materials this week. So we'll see. But
Right.
yeah, he knows that it would be covered in the December 8th meeting. So therefore, I
Okay.
need a couple weeks in
Okay.
advance to get everything. But he does need to notify abutters. We do need to do a new legal ad and hold a hearing and all that.
okay, so we'll
So
have
we just
to,
need some time.
and we'll have to, let Matt in on the timeline for all those things too. So that he knows how those things are coordinated with the legal ad and the
Yes.
NOI and the meeting and all that. Okay,
So
All right,
all of
next-
those procedures really should be documented somehow as a SOP, which is a standard operating procedure, so that if he leaves, it can be handed on to the next person of this is how we do it. Et
we're
cetera.
working on it. We have a few binders in there with our templates and but it's, we've had to start from scratch and we're working on it. So that is something that's happening. Okay, so next meeting.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes,
James,
Yep.
we're also working on, I started putting together an Excel spreadsheet, but now that Matt's with us, so that we can put down every single thing that comes in, what came in, when it's up for renewal, all the dates and everything. But the good news is, hopefully, town-wide, there's going to be that permitting software, which then everything can just go in a unified, interdepartmental database. But until then, we'll at least have an Excel spreadsheet, which is, anything we do is better than what we had, so it'll be good.
it'll certainly
Thank
will
you.
be helpful. Okay. Our next meeting will be held Wednesday, December 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. This meeting may be virtual Zoom remote in accordance with COVID-19 safe meeting guidelines. So the numbers, I just want to add to this that, also I should mention that this will be the final meeting for the month of November because of Thanksgiving, unless we have an emergency meeting, but that will be posted. So the numbers came out and they're at about 4.5. Safe meeting guidelines are about 2% for in-person. And I did have a question for everybody regarding meeting virtual Zoom or meeting in person. What do you prefer? Do you prefer meeting virtually with no mask, or do you prefer meeting in person with mask for meeting?
I go with the in-person in mask.
In person in mask. Okay, this is just a poll. It's not a vote.
Until we get better information from the state.
I'm sorry, Jim, what did you say? You say again?
Until we get better information from the state.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you. So we'll keep checking the numbers.
Madam
And
Chair?
yes, Joan.
I know that the Townsend rate is now, I believe, down to 4.4, and the county rate, though, is 1.23. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable meeting in person until those numbers get a little bit closer. I mean, because 4.4 is like out there. That's like a really not a good rate.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The time is 8:07.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn at 8:07. We have a second. Okay.
Second.
Third.
I second it.
Okay, James Gate, are you in favor? of Adjourning at
Yes.
8:07. Joan
Yes.
Savor, are you in favor?
Yes, thank you.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes, and James Gates, don't go. I've got to get your number.
Okay.
I
And
think I can email it to you.
Jim
Okay.
LaQueer, are you in favor?
Yes.
Okay, and I am in favor. We are all in favor of adjourning.
Right.
Okay,
and I'll
great.
email you my number.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
Monica.
everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you,
Thanksgiving. If I
Hartley.
don't
Enjoy
see everybody.
Thanksgiving all.
No,
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.